Okay, so today I wanted to talk about the the amount of changes I've gone through the last nearly 8 years of my life. If I remember back to 2014, I was in a state of just been 2 years with my girlfriend. Had a steady income, was going to get promoted, more kind of managerial side of things in my plants galore job, working with plants, selling plants. And then, of course, I got this having brain fog, fatigue, and headaches constantly in the summer of 2014. But I was at a point in my life where I was like, all the things that I've desired from young adulthood into maturity at the age of 24. Marriage, even children, buying a house, all those crazy ideas, all those, wishes of wealth and basically happiness, abundance, as we'd call it nowadays. I wanted all those things to happen. I was ready for all those things to happen, and then, bang! Everything stops. You don't have a choice anymore. You don't have a say. You don't believe it's possible. And yet, in the last 8 years, I've managed to overcome my fears, the inhibitions, the kind of halting of all my wishes and wants. Apart from the financial side, I'm quite a poor person. The only work I have is this website I created, Pablo's Brain Journey, to try and support people like myself in the beginning of their journeys. But that's very infrequent. There's not a lot of money that I get from it, but it's the most I can do. So I put myself out there. I've asked on the internet whether people can support me on the next phase, which is to get all my fillings removed from my mouth, because I got loads of mercury fillings, about 10 at least, which I feel are leaching, and most of my auras, which have been diagnosed by an epilepsy specialist through ECG, as basically not being epilepsy, these auras, because they didn't show up in the ECG. I took it in for a day and nothing happened, even though I definitely had something happen. So it's my belief that I'm having mercury leaching into my body and creating problems within my brain, altering my body's chemistry, which is really bad. But what can I do? I haven't got the money to go and get myself diagnosed. I don't have the money to go to a dentist and get them all removed. So I'm really struggling in that sense. I really just want to put it out there, and I really want people to listen and believe that I'm not just asking for money to benefit myself financially. It's to benefit my health and my longevity. I mean, I've managed to get to 8 years in about June, July, from when I was originally diagnosed in September. But I had the symptoms in June, July, so I count my diagnosis from then. Yeah, I'd like to just ask if anyone's willing out there to help, because I'm really struggling and I want to heal, but I believe that this mercury poisoning is basically holding me back. It's part of the reason my epilepsy was so bad, I think. Maybe it's the thing that's causing the growth in the tumour, who knows. There's probably lots of cofactors as well, like I did lots of drugs. I fell on my head a few times when I was a kid. Quite badly, quite savagely when I was young, and that could have caused a lot of scientific data is about people hitting their heads and getting cancer later on in their life, which sucks. I mean, it's out of control. When you're a kid, you don't really understand these things. You can't stop it from happening. Unless we go around with helmets on our heads going, yeah, Look at me, I'm safe. Bash, bash. But anyway, I just really want to kind of grow up. When I grow up, I want to continue to live into my 40s, to be able to see my daughter Luna grow up to a teenager, starting secondary school, becoming a woman. My son Malachi growing up into a young man, enjoying life, learning from my lessons, my mistakes, hopefully being better than me. I want to see this happen, but I'm afraid that I'm not doing enough, that because I'm so poor and unwell, and I've really got to just limit myself to the point where I don't want to do too much. I also want to marry my partner and be able to grow old with her. But that's the challenge, isn't it? You got to overcome this. You got to be positive. You got to focus on the now, the present, living with the dis-ease and becoming more than it. And I've really tried my best to get to a point where the fear doesn't override my love for life. But I'm struggling. Post-op, I haven't had a seizure since, and that's great. But the emotional doubt is always there. And I'm constantly, it's the battle against light and dark, good and evil, love and fear. Stuck in the middle somewhere, just being torn. And I don't know what to do. So I just really need to put this out there and see if, I don't know, if there's anyone who's kind-hearted, who's wealthy, who isn't struggling, because the only people I've got that are my friends that who follow me, they're all cancer warriors, or people who are struggling with cancer. They don't have money. They've got to focus on themselves. And my family and friends, well, they're all struggling as well in this climate. So I kind of just don't know what to do. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. And my love for life is growing each day, and I want to be more able-bodied. I want to be more loving and caring for my family. I want to be less afraid, less scared of the outcome of loving deeply and truthfully. So that's the challenge, I think, when you're diagnosed, is to overcome your fear of dying, not believe in it. But we're told so many statistics, so much data, so many facts, so many fictions within the scientific genre, I'll say, because science isn't fact. It's not fact. It's not 100% proved. They say glioblastoma is the most deadly, but people are outliving their prognosis every day. I'm glad for that. I'm glad that my story is reaching so many people, that they're finding inspiration in their own well-being and learning to love more deeply their life connection. But it's hard. It's harder than anything. As I said, I say, and I've said before, having cancer is like dying daily. You don't know what's going to happen. And I've had many friends with cancer, some who have died, and it seems like it's just instantaneous. One day they're fine, the next day they're not. Just be present, I guess. I've got to be present. I've got to be open to not wealth, but abundance. So I wish for the power to do more, to be more abundant, to be more active in the media, in the world, as an example of overcoming this ease and thriving within it. And I hope you'll listen to this message and hopefully support me in my journey.